Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm Dr. John Herding here with Mark Falcone, owner of iCore Fitness. What's going on, Mark? How are you?
Hey, how you doing, John? Doing good.
Good. I appreciate you hopping on. And
Of course.
you have you have such a unique thing going on, and I think this is going to be a fun interview for me and hopefully for everybody listening to kind of showcase what you're doing to influence movement and kind of the fitness revolution in Philadelphia. You're kind of leading the charge in certain spaces. So, can you kind of give us? We'll get right into it and give us a little bit of a background about what got you to where you are now, what you're doing, and kind of like the origin story of who Mark Falcone is and why you're doing what you're doing currently.
Yeah, sure. So, again, Mark Falcone, I own iCore Fitness in Westchester. And basically, I got into it, got out of college with like no real direction, but I went in with a business major knowing that entrepreneurship is a big field of mine that I was passionate. I'd always like growing up, started little small side businesses here and there. So graduating college, started working in a typical job and I hated it. So I stuck with it about a year, a little over a year. And then I decided like I need to pursue the passion of entrepreneurship. And in doing so, I basically just quit my job, picked up a bunch of part-time stuff so I could hone in on it full time. And in doing so, trying to figure out what I wanted to start, I started thinking about like all the things that I'm passionate about and all the things that I like do and that motivate me in life. And for one, it was like I was into this like obstacle course racing. We call it OCR racing. And then from that, I found American Ninja Warrior. Before both of those, I was just primarily like a runner, but not like anything serious, just kind of felt good, made me feel good. So I was out all the time. So I found that like I was going to like three different gyms and they weren't really satisfying like the need of what type of training that I wanted. And I felt like compelled that a like all-encompassing space that has all of these different components of fitness in it would draw like a good crowd of community and it's something that you could build like a culture off of, especially because like overcoming obstacles correlates to regular everyday life of like trying to go through different battles and whatnot to attack this life that we're in. So I think it like correlates to that like energy. And so I started searching for the type of gym that I had in mind and just went around the country. I couldn't find anything unique like it, at least not to the scale that I had like envisioned.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much spent like the better part of 3 years trying to get from the concept to having the doors open. And it was wild. It was definitely like an uphill battle of like what can go wrong will go wrong and delays and setbacks. But it really like builds your confidence and perseverance when you get through things like that. So it was a lot of fun building the gym and getting creative and being unique in like what we offer. And I just think it's a very niche, unique business in the fitness industry.
Absolutely. And you've been around. When did you open the gym?
We opened February 1st of 2015. So we've
Oh,
been over 7 years.
which is amazing. And I think you had to have been one of the first, like nationwide, or one of the first gyms in the country that focused on American Ninja Warrior and OCR training.
Yeah. Yeah. There was maybe two in the country at the time that we opened. But we were about three times the size of those. So
Mm-hmm.
we went a little bit bigger in the fact that we were also like the first ones to fabricate all of our obstacles out of metal versus like kind of homemade, more so homemade stuff. But yeah, so we had like the largest course, the largest facility for a while. Now there's probably 300 gyms around the country.
Mm-hmm.
And some of them are massive 20, 30,000 square foot facilities. It's wild how it's grown as a sport, it's grown as a league and across the nation now. So it's kind of cool to think like maybe I inspired some people
Mm-hmm.
by proving the concept.
Absolutely.
Um,
So with that, your gym's been around 7 years, and you've really kind of helped to pioneer like the trends in OCR and American Ninja Warrior. How have you seen that culture change in those 7 years around Philly?
I think it kind of evolved. Like when we first opened, it was like crickets, and I was like, oh no, this doesn't work. And then as soon as we started getting momentum, I'd say for the biggest aspect of our culture, and they really drive like the energy of the gym. But as far as evolving goes, I mean, I feel like we've been we've become more of a brand in like this unique style of fitness more than just like the title of like Ninja Warrior Gym. And then as far as the OCR part, yeah, it's a high camaraderie driven, group oriented, high energy atmosphere. So what's nice is that, you know, all of our members are pretty much like best friends. We're like one big family. So I like that in the sense of you end up working harder and doing more when your peers are, you know, grinding it out right next to you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've spent a lot of time in your gym with my son who loves coming there, right? And that's one of the main things that I see. You've built this great culture around the gym, and I know so many of these kids look up to you guys when they see you or your coaches, you know, doing whatever skill on, you know, the trampolines or on some of the obstacles that you have. And then you guys are all so super approachable that it just makes it a fun, easy environment to be a part of. Like, it's not intimidating. Like you said, kids feel very comfortable coming in and being with their peers, but also in talking to the coaches that are doing these highly skilled things. And I think that breeds for like that. It speaks very well to the type of business that you've built and the camaraderie that you can feel as soon as you walk into the gym. One of the other things I love about your gym is you're always trying to improve it. Like I was looking at Instagram today, and you've added 2 new things in the last 2 weeks. And even through COVID, where I know it was challenging for you, and there you were closed for a lot of it, as many gyms were, but you were using that as a time to improve on the product and improve on and adding obstacles and building out the facility more. And you added an outdoor space. Can you tell us a little bit about what drives you? Because you could very easily become complacent. You have this great facility that has all these great obstacles. What motivates you to always be, because I also know you just partnered with another OCR series too, right? So what drives you to always improve, to add the unique outdoor space that I want to hear about? Tell us a little bit about that.
So first, the outdoor space. Again, when COVID hit, we got shut down. So immediately just pivoted to like, what can we do? And try and get as creative as possible to just keep revenue coming in, because obviously the bills were still coming in. So the first thing that we did was, unfortunately, a lot of gyms were going out of business. I found one out in Philly that had just shut down. They had a big indoor turf area. So I bought all their turf. It's kind of funny. I thought I was just going to drive up, roll it up, put it in my truck. And then I realized how heavy actual like legit turf is with the like rubber pellets and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So I ended up, I left, got a U-Haul, started hauling it, and then maxed out the weight load of the U-Haul in like the first half of the day. So ended up having to make a bunch of trips. It was a pain, but I got like 5 bodybuilding friends to come. Yeah, I was like the smallest one by far, but they did all the heavy lifting.
Oh my goodness.
And then to get it out, because I didn't have them to get it out of the truck, I used my truck and some chains and just like ripped them out. So that was wild. That's a pain to work with. But anyway, long story short, we moved one of our indoor rigs outdoors and mounted it to a shipping container. And then I bought another shipping container that could house all of our equipment. So basically we created like a little outdoor space, which in the long run has been awesome, because it's just provided another unique atmosphere of being able to have a gym where you can work out indoors or you can work out outdoors when it's nice out. So we'll continue to run as many classes outdoors as possible in the warmer weather, and then we'll bring it back in the winter weather, of course. So that was the turf area part. I think it was a good addition. It definitely enabled us to keep our classes. The year of COVID, we ran all of our classes straight through the winter outside, and members are still coming. I was miserable, but
Yeah,
we got it out. So it worked out, and we got through that. And then now the byproduct is we have a unique space outdoors that creates another cool little environment.
Yeah. So I think, just to let everybody know, these are OCR classes where you're training people specifically to compete in the obstacle course racing, the various series that are around, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then what's the further motivation to continue to expand on like the Ninja Warrior side of your business, where you're always adding obstacles, you know, to continue to challenge some of the members that have competed? You've had several people come through that have trained at your facility that have been on the show and all of that.
Yeah, I think it's necessary in our business to keep it fresh, keep it unique, and keep adding and just like kind of molding with the community as it goes. I think that for us, I have to try and set timelines of like, 2 to 3 times a year where we'll do like some big project. So we're always trying to keep it like get feedback from our, our clients and our members. And when someone's like, hey, we should use this, we should get this obstacle. And then I'll think through it like financially, is it feasible? And then kind of having it all, and then end up making lists of like big things, little things. And then as we reach our financial goals, we can allocate towards those things. One of the newest things that we just added, a big like Parkour Bar Setup that you probably saw, and that replaced all the rigging was that we ended up putting outside during COVID. Now we replaced that all with another unique setup. So we're just always trying to keep it consistent so that people are challenged. And yeah, I feel like there's a point in our style of gym where if you don't do enough of keeping up with the Joneses, like the other gyms and facilities, like people are going to get bored. And for us, it's, they're not going like a traditional gym you'll go to do the same exercises over and over. With this, they're trying to progress and progress and progress. So we have to keep going bigger and bigger as they grow.
Well, and that's what's so cool is you're custom making a lot of this stuff, and it's not just like we've been saying the OCR and the Ninja Warrior, but then like the parkour community too can come in, and it's a great indoor training space for those guys too, where so much of what they do is outside. But what happens in the winter in Philly, they need to find a place to train.
Yeah, and we even have like a pretty big group that pre-COVID was coming consistently of professional cliff jumpers, and that was a thing.
Okay.
And they would use the trampolines and the foam pits to practice all of their like tumbling and stuff.
Yeah.
Before they brought it to a cliff. So it's a lot of unique athletic people.
And I bet that makes
different sport.
Does it make for some good stories?
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely.
That's great. And then you're yourself, like, I think part of what maybe drew you to the space is you're a super accomplished athlete too in the obstacle course racing realm. Like you walk into the facility and there's probably 50 medals of some type of podium finish that you've had.
We've had a couple.
Don't let him be modest, guys. He's pretty good. So what's in starting this and talking about the community, what's been your main motivation, as you're getting started, and has it changed as you've seen this grow a little bit? Like what's your main motivation to just keep going and continuing to improve again?
I think the main motivation is the reward that I get out of seeing mainly like, again, the kids that we work with and just watching that community grow and get stronger day by day. I think watching the kids like break through, especially like when we'll have like kids that are like on the spectrum or like Asperger's that come in and have like never been into any sports and not really like lack confidence, but also like social abilities. And with our facility, like there's so many different components that you can jump. Like I want to do ninja stuff right now. I want to jump on this big blob, rock climb, go jump on the trampolines, jump in the foam pit. Like you kind of have that like ADHD mentality of like all these different things you can do. And it seems to stimulate them very well in the sense that it brings out like their true athleticism, their character, builds confidence. And then as they watch like the other kids like progress, it's like, okay, once one kid gets something like a new move, it's like, oh, it's possible now. Then they all start getting it. And it's like, it's kind of cool to see like just the way that it like kind of the place like takes on a life of its own after a while. In the beginning, it was more of me like trying to but create that culture and like always being present and always being involved in every single aspect of the business. And as we've grown, I've been able to kind of scale myself progressively and kind of just do less of the things that I'm not as good at or don't like to do, and then kind of just be more involved on like the back end of the business.
I think that's what's been cool. And I think all of your coaches are so good at teaching the progressions to help a kid learn how to do whatever flip or, I think that's been really cool that they're really good at relating to kids and helping them, learn the skills that they're seeing on TV.
Yeah, we've been blessed with some amazing staff. Our staff is constantly getting compliment, and I'm just proud of like the fact that we were able to put together a team like we have.
Yeah.
So I think that literally the people make it what it is as far as the business and the culture goes in the gym. Mm-hmm. Without them, it's just a bunch of metal. But the way everything comes together, and the way we work as a team, it's very encouraging. And I think that's one of the biggest aspects of what makes us successful.
Well, and I think just continuing to comment on cultures, I think what I've seen as I've been in the gym too is a lot of your coaches came up as kids that were coming to the gym regularly, right? And then even, go ahead.
Good. I'd say like 80% of our staff were members first. And that, cause our kids, the kids that come that are our members are like obsessed with it. They're here every day. They like basically the parents are always like, I'm just gonna leave and they can live here because I don't want to drive back and forth every day. I'm like, it's fine with me. But they end up like obsessed with it, and then they because they're involved in the culture, they start to grow, and as they get older and mature, they understand the business, they understand the culture, and they've got the skills to teach others. So it's like a win-win to just be like, hey, how about you come on staff and start helping others?
Absolutely. I love it. But then we're talking about the kids so much too, but then the whole other aspect of the business where it's like training adults who want to be on American Ninja Warrior or want to do better in the OCR races. Like most of your fitness classes that are OCR specific are, the adults that really like competing in the OCR type races.
So I'd say about half of them. Yeah. The other half, we have probably about 50% that don't actually compete, but just really enjoy that style of workout, just that it's unique and it's the energy and the cult they just vibe with versus like a traditional gym. But the other half, I would say, do train to be competitive or at least to pick a race, to put something on the calendar and then train to work towards it. So we'll take on as the season progresses, which is like starting just about now, we'll see like an influx of people who are like, hey, I signed up for this race, I've looked what I'm doing. Like it's all good. If you can get through our workouts, you'll be fine. Yeah.
So tell me about the style of workout. Like people are familiar with like various group fitness classes. They're familiar with CrossFit. How is OCR? How are your classes different? What does a typical class entail?
So our classes, the way I would explain it, it's kind of like a hybrid of classes. But the closest I can relate it to would be like if you took like the complex Olympic lifts out of CrossFit, our style would be the closest to that. So we don't do any like super heavy stuff. We don't do anything like overhead squats and stuff like that. That you need mobility and like years of experience to get those things. And in a group setting, to me, that isn't really coachable. So we make it where it's safe, but it's high energy, fast paced, fun, camaraderie driven. And then we'll throw in like some obstacles into the workouts. So we'll do like periodized, depends on the season, but like in the off season, we're focused more on strength, right? Like everyone else, trying to get as strong as possible so that when we start doing all the conditioning and high intensity stuff, you can afford to lose a little bit of muscle during the season to be as fast as possible. So we'll do like periodized, like linear strength training in like the first half of our class. And in the back half, we do like our metabolic conditioning, which will be basically like in a traditional sense, it would be all of your like accessory work. And we'll just put that into a circuit where you're getting your heart rate up on top of it. Right. So that's kind of our thought process on our training. But yeah, the biggest thing I think that makes it unique is just that we incorporate obstacles into stuff. It would be climbing walls, climbing ropes, and there's progressions to everything. So we have like different modifications for everything for like newer clients, people who are still working on like honing on those skills.
Yeah. Which is great because it just like everybody, people are always looking to change it up and keep things interesting in fitness so it doesn't get boring. And I think you guys are able to do that because you incorporate all those different aspects and you have obstacles that you can throw in as well. That's great. And then how would you tell me about like if I came in and I said next year I want to be an American Ninja Warrior, what does that look like? I know you have kids classes and an American Ninja team because there's a league in the region between all the different gyms. But what about an adult that wants to be part of American Ninja Warrior? If I just came in off the street and I had no experience prior.
So we do offer like one-on-one personal training. So we could go that route. What I typically do with people that are into that are usually super passionately into it. So I usually try and connect them with our existing clients and just so that they can kind of form a training group of their own. And so all of our memberships are like all inclusive. You can come 7 days a week. So they can like, as we get newer people in, we can kind of plug them in depending on what they're into and what they're trying to learn,
Mhm.
with a group that already exists within the gym. We did have a specific ninja night before quarantine that we haven't brought back yet, but we're definitely going to.
Yeah.
Where we'll just be open for like anyone can drop in and try it out, and we'll just have like a different course of the night. But yeah, other than that, we offer like session passes, memberships, and personal training as well. If someone wants to specifically like hone on certain things.
Yeah. That's great. So anything really, your gym is revolutionary because it's unique to the space. It kind of helped propel OCR racing and Ninja Warrior nationally because you're one of the first to market. But then you're offering all these individual fitness solutions for whether it's kids or teens or adults. Something one size fits all that keeps fitness interesting and helps people find a new niche that of something that they really enjoy doing.
Yeah, I agree. It brings the youthfulness back to working out. Because
Yeah.
when you think about it, it's like the closest thing to what we did when we were kids. We just didn't have facilities like this. Now it's like I'm curious. These kids are going to be monsters because of what they had to train at such a young age. But just like we used to climb trees, climb buildings, jump off things, here is just like basically a safe environment to do all of those things that you want to do as a kid.
And I think it's really interesting that you said that because you're so right. Like now everybody's so like, fitness has almost become a chore for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Right? And it doesn't have to be a chore. It can be something fun where you just walk into a gym like yours and you just play around for a couple hours. Right?
Yeah. That and even the programmed workouts, it's like kind of, you don't have to think about it. You just get in the car, you get here, and then it's all set up and we're ready to grind. So it takes like the guesswork out of going to the gym and kind of meandering around and talking to people, and it creates more of a structure, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's fun to go, like, even in my experiences, I'll just go mess around and see if I can do a certain skill, and I'll leave the gym feeling a little bit sore, and it never felt like a workout. It was just trying something like, again, making fitness fun, playing around, and it doesn't feel like such a chore. Like, oh, I got to get in the car, I got to go do this, I have to fight.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's also another unique quality that your gym offers. It's great.
No, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about what's next. Are there any other, what's on that list of things that you're going to build, upgrades you're going to make to the gym? What's next along those lines? What are you seeing evolve in the Ninja Warrior space or the OCR racing space?
Well, one of the things that we're going to start offering parkour classes specifically. In doing that, we're kind of waiting out to build out more of that parkour area. So around that bar setup, I have like a vision for like a bunch of like slant boxes and vault boxes, different like parkour items. And I don't do parkour, so it's kind of interesting. But I think it's an untapped part of the business that fits in with what we do. So I think that is going to be a good addition to our brand of bringing in more of the like parkour community, especially since a couple of those gyms that were specific in that area have gone out of business. So there's not too many places for people to go locally. Yeah. So I think the parkour section, that's like the bigger thing. I don't know. I kind of just let things come to me.
Mm-hmm. I know you're always thinking, and you're always moving, doing something. So I know it's going to come and it's going to be great as always.
We'll try.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So anything else you'd like to mention, bring up about the gym?
No, I think from the business aspect of what we do, again, like a lot of, as we stated, a lot of the stuff that we do is for kids. And I think like the event birthday party type atmosphere is unique with us as well. And from a business standpoint, for anyone that's in like the event type space, it's really easy to sell. Because if we sell a birthday party with 20 kids, as long as they all have a great time, we just sold 20 parties.
Mm.
And because all the kids want to have their parties here. So for us, that was like a good eye-opening aspect of our business that became one of the largest aspects of the business.
Yeah. I just think the biggest things about your gym, it's the culture you've created, the fun that people have there. And I think that's just helped you grow over the last 7 years. And then, as you said, like all of these gyms were struggling like through COVID, and you've seemed to come out even more on top because you're using it and pivoting. You're using it productively and pivoting. And now it seems like you guys are doing really well because you've made this great product with a great culture.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So, Mark, we usually end this with a final five questions that kind of give people a rapid fire. You don't know about these prior, and rapid fire to give them more insight into like who Mark Falcone is.
Oh boy.
Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. What would be your walkout song?
Kuna Matata.
I love it. Why?
Oh, that was the first thing that came to my head. Just goofy. No one would expect it.
Oh, that would be great. You walking in, you're ready to close a game. You're a relief pitcher or whatever, a closer, and you're walking out into the outfield with a Kuna Matata. That would be great.
That's my jam right there.
What is your favorite exercise?
Running.
Yeah. How many miles do you put in a week when you're like
now well, 0.
Right.
For now, about 60 miles a week.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know Mark, he's putting in 60 miles a week and then doing the OCR classes on a daily basis almost.
Like 5 days a week.
If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Ooh. Pizza's the generic one.
Give me something better than that.
Yeah, come on. Chicken parm.
Okay. What's your guilty pleasure?
My dog takes priority over the world.
I love it. Rogue is a stud, though. Rogue,
He's wild.
He's a Belgian Malinois, everyone, that is always moving, always doing something, very high energy. And Mark, the perfect dog for Mark.
Yeah, she's pretty much identical to me.
Yeah. And then what's your favorite thing about the Philadelphia area?
Oh, not much.
No.
No. I mean, I like Westchester, the Westchester area. I like the fact that we have a lot of good trails out here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in an ideal world, I'd split my time between like Colorado, California, and Florida.
Okay.
I like the mountains. I like the beach. So yeah, the summers are good here. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
The winters I could do without.
I hear you. If I didn't like to snowboard so much, it would be
That, yeah.
Excellent. Any closing thoughts before we close this out, Mark? I appreciate the time you spent with us today.
No, not much, man. I appreciate you having me on.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate everyone listening to the Fitness Philadelphia Podcast. Mark, if you guys haven't been into the Westchester area to check out iCore Fitness, I suggest that you do. He occupies a unique niche in our fitness space that is really, it just makes it a fun time, even if you just want to come out with friends and hang out and try some of the obstacles you're seeing on TV or try one of the OCR classes before you sign up for a race. I think it's a unique gym, and Mark's doing some great stuff with the culture that he's built.
Appreciate that.
All right, Mark, I appreciate you. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks a lot, man. Have a great day.
All right.